All right, folks, good afternoon to some of you already. It's good evening, and I know maybe to some of you all it's even good morning. Special greetings to all those of you who are already hooked on this live. It's always a pleasure to be hooking up with you each and every Saturday afternoon. Hi Maslin and all the other folks, Yusila James, Alan Hill, Eileen Vidal, Carla Guy, Maslin Edwards, you're always there. I know all of you folks always love to know what is happening back home, especially those of you who are out in what we call in Dominica the diaspora. This afternoon, folks, I want to make it about a 45 minutes presentation. So I will be trying to stick to that 45 minutes slot that I give myself this afternoon. I really don't want to make it too long this afternoon. But what you are seeing here, folks, in the foreground, well, even before I get to the foreground, let me say, as I promised last week, I'll be taking it upon myself to do some kind of communication with us every Saturday from 6 p.m. from last week Saturday. And so this Saturday is just a continuation of what I promised you folks as it relates to our country, our lovely country, I must say, Dominica. All right, what you're seeing here, folks, in the background, as you noticed, it's a very busy street this afternoon. I am basically located on the Goodwill Highway, the Goodwill Main Road. Most people don't think Dominicans have highway, but it's the Goodwill Main Road, and that is in the Free Road section. Is the intersection of the Public Works Junction. And I really want to this afternoon place under my lens this afternoon, or the microscope as I termed it, what is left of our Public Works Corporation in Dominica. So folks, let me just give you a more close-up shot as to what is the remains of the Public Works. If you notice, this building at the front there, at least more than half of the roof is gone. That it basically deteriorated. Well, it was in a state of deterioration before Maria, but Maria basically had the better of it, and more than 50% of the zinc on the roof is gone. The rafters are all exposed, and that building is in a very dilapidated state, folks. That building is in addition to two other buildings like that on the compound. And the two other buildings, they are in even a worse state of disrepair, I must say. And it is very, very sad to see this compound here that all of us, most of us, grew up on as Dominicans. We call it our Public Works Department. Folks, our Public Works Department, it served us very, very well in Dominica. I remember the days growing up when Public Works, the guys, the women from Public Works, used to go around and maintain our streets, maintain our public facilities in Dominica, especially where roads and infrastructure is concerned. And I must say, folks, I must lament the fact that it has been some time now that our Public Works Department is not doing that very good work like they used to do before in terms of the upkeep of our lovely country, Dominica. As to why, I will be getting to the why in a while. But I just want to give us an idea of the surrounding of what is remaining of the Public Works Corporation. I am being reliably informed, folks, that that facility there, the employees of Public Works, they were hurried out of that place, out of that premise, in a very arrogant manner from the government of the day. And I say that without no apology, because I got that from a number of different sources inside, working inside that corporation. Presently, they got a space for them at Kane Field. All right, and I'm being reliably told as well that some of the equipments, or most of the equipments that they will be using to do whatever task they're asked to do, these equipments will be housed at Donkey Beach. Presently, there is an ongoing clearing of a spot at Donkey Beach so that Public Works equipments can be docked there. Again, as I told you, the employees of Public Works, they were asked to move out from that location, from that premises. As to why, there are a lot of speculations going on as to why they were asked to move out in such a hasty manner. But there are a lot of speculations, as I said. Straight up the bat, I am hearing, and it is alleged, let me use the word alleged because it is not confirmed as yet, but you know they say you don't see smoke without fire. And I am being told from a number of sources that that property you're watching in the foreground, folks, it is alleged that the Chinese bought this property and soon will be moving in with some kind of structure on that property. Because folks, for a number of years now, Hurricane Maria, as I said before, they basically just came, Hurricane Maria basically just came and put the icing on the cake, as it were, in terms of the very deplorable condition that you're seeing these buildings are in today. And as I said, for those of you just joining, this building that you're seeing straight up, there are also two other buildings in the yard, and their roofs as well are in even a more deplorable condition. The yard itself is a mess. The place, to me, it is like an abandoned place. And as to why it is left abandoned, there are much speculations going about that the Chinese will be moving in on that premises very, very soon to put down some kind of structure. As to what type of structure they will be putting on, that is left to be seen. So pretty soon, we may just be seeing a new complex right there, but it will not be belonging to the government or we the people of Dominica. So keep your eyes and ears tuned to what is going on there, and I can guarantee you in the not so distant future we will be seeing some movement in that department. But let me just come back, folks, to the matter at hand in terms of the Public Works Corporation that we once knew. Again, I can tell you, I can confirm to you that the workers at that department, and when I say the workers, meaning the men and women, the very industrious men and women who served us very well in Dominica, working at that corporation from since 2011. Yes, you heard me right. 2011. These folks inside of that corporation, they have not received a raise in pay from since 2011. And folks, that information, you can take it to the bank, and I can guarantee you, you will get cash for that. The Dominica Public Service Union is representing the workers at Public Works Corporation, But I can confirm to you from since 2011, these people have not gotten a raise in pay. So they have been working under tremendous pressure, trying to keep Dominica in order, but their pay has not gone up from since 2011. I can also tell you, folks, that where they are moving to, or where the government secured for them, it is at a shed owned and operated by the Agricultural Industrial Bank, that is the Aid Bank. And again, I can report to you that that corporation, the Public Works Corporation, will be renting a shed or two sheds from the Aid Bank as they move along. So right there, that is the premises that house the Public Works Corporation. They were not paying rent because that is government property right there. So they were comfortable enough right there paying no rent. But lo and behold, the government of the day pushed them out in a very horrid manner, I must add. Put them in cane field, and they are asked to pay rent from where they will be operating from. I can confirm that to you as well. We all know the Public Works Corporation as a corporation, as an organization, has been doing very good job in the interest of we the people of Dominica. I mean to say, growing up, I used to know that inside that premise there used to be a place where mechanical work was being done, machinery in terms of metal work was being done, crimping of different hoses, different size of hoses also was being done. Persons from the college, young men and women from the college, sometimes they would even be assisted in there as it relates to they getting a better understanding, a hands-on experience as to the work that they would want to go into the future, especially as it relates to public works or mechanical engineering or anything around that sort. But that I can tell you is no more. The Public Works Corporation as well, we all know them to be very good stewards of building and maintaining our drains, our waterways. They were very good at making culverts for Dominica and Dominicans, whereby they would come in, take the size measurement of a waterway and make designs in the first instance, and then proceed to make the necessary culvert so that our drains and waterways could be much more affluent. So folks, they says 1,000 words is in one picture, and that is the picture that you see in this afternoon, whereby your Public Works Corporation, my Public Works Corporation, that is what is left of it. And I can confirm again to you that they have already moved out from that location, and they are now headquartered at two sheds operated by the Aid Bank at Canefield. That is the reality of what we are going through in Dominica. That is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But you know something, folks? To add even insult to injury, I am being told that the board that is installed at that corporation is the board that is installed at that corporation, folks, is a board specifically selectively selected by the Dominica Labour Party. There are a number of persons on that board from since its inception. I believe all the way in 2006, 2007. A number of persons on that board have not changed from being board members. And one have to ask the question, why? And the board members, they know themselves. They know themselves. Selected by the Dominica Labour Party to basically continue to manipulate the business and affairs of what was known as the Public Works Corporation. If we do a search, folks, if we do a search, we will find out there's an ambassador from Dominica. He is on the board of Public Works. If we do a search, folks, there is a specific person who is there on that board, as I said, from inception and has not moved a muscle from since inception. And so could you imagine a board that is there that is supposed to be doing the work or looking at the interests of the workers in there? They would allow a property like that to run down under their watch and say nothing, much less to do anything about it. We also have as well another radio personality in Dominica that sings from the choir of the Dominica Labour Party. And he, I can confirm, is on the board from inception. Why is he not moving? Why are they not moving? Then, as I said, it is to continue the manipulation. It is to continue the malgovernance of this government where our public institutions are concerned. And we in Dominica, folks, unless and until we as born and bred Dominicans decide to take a stand, a positive stand that is for our country, then I can tell you that is the order in which things will continue in Dominica, whereby a selected few will continue to be skimming off the top with the cream of Dominica, and the masses is left to wonder what is going on. Folks, it really, really, really breaks my heart to see what is going on in my country, Dominica. It really does break my heart. And that is why I choose to speak up and more so do something in the interest of my country, Dominica. Folks, Dominica belongs to all of us. And all of us should raise our voice of voices where we see our country is going down the drain. And I know when you speak like that for your country, I know when you speak like that for your fellow men and women, there are those who are the sycophants, I call them, of this, I don't want to say government, what passes for government. They will want to say that you are anti this and anti that, you don't love this, you don't love that. But folks, when I speak from the bottom of my heart, and I speak the truth, nothing but the truth. this government would want to let us in Dominica and the world believe that everything is a-okay in Dominica. And so some persons may say, I am hearing them saying, Loftus, why are you always being on the pessimist side? Why are you always portraying our country in a bad light? I say I'm not portraying our country in any bad light. I'm just speaking the truth. The picture is right there and it tells the story exactly what I'm saying. In life, folks, there's positive, there's negative. There's night, there's day. There's always the opposite. And that is what makes life beautiful. And so if this government choose to focus on all the things they seem to want to tell people that is going good in this country, there must be some of us that have to focus our attention on the wrongs, the ills that are affecting us in this country. And that is what makes the balance. That is what keeps things in proper perspective, folks. It cannot be you are bombarded every day with the so-called good of this government and they choose not to show you where they are going wrong. They choose not to show you their pitfalls. They choose not to show you where things could be better. And so you may want to call me a pessimist. That's fine enough. I can bear that name. Like John Lewis, who died maybe a couple weeks ago. He said, when asked a question as to why, he was pointing out the negativism, the negative vibes about what was happening in America in his day, where racism was concerned. And it is still with us today. He said he came to make trouble, but the trouble was a necessary trouble. And so I want to borrow that quote from Mr. John Lewis. For those who think that I am making trouble and others who speak in defense of our country, we are making trouble. Yes, we are making trouble. But those troubles are necessary troubles. Folks, as I said, I will not be keeping us too long tonight. What is the time? 24 minutes past 6. I'll not be keeping us too long tonight. But I just want to take us now from that spot to go to another location where I will try to cement what I'm trying to say to you tonight. So before the night really falls on us in earnesty, let us now just take a little drive to another location where you will see exactly what I'm talking about, folks. It will not be too long of a drive. For those of you who have not been back in Dominica for a little while, please enjoy. I am located at the Public Works, as I said. So we'll be taking a little drive to a location where I will be telling you in just a bit where we are, and I will try to bring you a wrap up to that all-important story, what is left of Public Works. We'll be making a move in a while. All right, here we go. We're taking a little drive, so please enjoy the drive. All right, I'm just going to bring you to a spot now to show you how this government, how they care, or how they say they care for our country, folks. Remember, the Dominica Public Works is under the scrutiny of my lens this afternoon. All right, we are alongside the port of Dominica now, and we're going down. We are heading down. All right, that is the Coast Guard base right across here, and we are heading down. Just please enjoy the ride. Please enjoy the ride. Mr. Washburn Coffee, how are you, brother? All right, folks, that is Funkole. We now live in Funkole and approaching now under the Canefield Cliff. Now you see that cliff on top of there, folks, that cliff here, you see that quep on top of there? I'll be bringing you in another story, something that is happening on top there. But that is not the business for this afternoon. All right? I don't know if you can remember, folks, when the person who is in the seat of the Prime Minister, we are now under the cliff in the Wavincock area and we're heading down. I don't know, folks, if you remember when the person who is in the seat of the Prime Minister's office, that is none other than Roosevelt Skerrit, he told Dominicans that his government would be looking to make another way, another road that would be passing from Wavincock, go up to Mount Daniel and would come down by Outretreat area to take off Dominicans from those cliffs. Let me just turn that camera up a bit so you can get an idea of the cliff situation that we have to be passing under every day in Dominica. All these rocks are basically glaring at us in Dominica. Those of you who drive under that cliff, some of you don't look up. So I understand you may not realize the magnitude of what is above you, the danger of what is above us. But these rocks, folks, I really don't like to see them, and I'm really praying to God every day that those rocks that are greening from up don't get loose and come down, and in the process anybody gets hurt. I remember when going to school, let me just back a little while and show you something. I remember when going to school, folks, all the way back in 1990 something. This here, this part of the cliff, let me just bring down that, let me just tune that camera so you could see what I'm talking about. This part of the cliff came down. All right, you can still see it is very brown, meaning the vegetation has not grown back in some areas. All down here is what came down from that cliff as we are approaching Lyndhurst. That is the back road to go Mount Daniel. All right, and all that is that cliff that is overhanging us when we drive to or from Roseau. But again, the Prime Minister said that he will be making another route, another road, so that especially when it rains during the hurricane season, that motorists would have a different option to stay away from falling rocks. But lo and behold, up till now, not a drum beat has been done in that department. But we know the Prime Minister of Dominica, he is very, very economical with the truth at times, but that is what we have allowed him to get away with in Dominica. So we are trotting on. All right, we are now approaching now the two gasoline station where we just passed one West Indies Oil. That is Ruby's here, Ruby's gas station. We just passed NP a while ago. That is Harris Pint building right there. Prissy Matthews to be in the corner down there. We are now approaching this corner. That is the Outretreat area. That is Outretreat's buildings right there. All right, that's Outretreat. We're approaching this bridge. Well, there's two bridges rather. One going out of town, which I am on now, and the other on the other side will get you into town. We are just taking a little drive. We are right there in just a while. I just need to show you something, folks, as to how this government is managing your affairs in this country. We are now approaching the Old Mill area. All right, that is the Old Mill Cultural Center right here. Let me just slow down so you can get a good view of it. That's the Old Mill Cultural Center right here. That is the red big wheel that really tells us all about the Old Mill itself. But that is another. Okay, let us take a little right inside here. All right, folks. Right, we're going in an area, as I told you. When we get to the site, I will explain why I choose to bring us here this afternoon. Now, We're approaching one of the sheds, folks, in Canefield. That is where the Public Works Department that I was speaking of earlier, that is where the Public Works Department will be housed, okay? Now, folks, watch this little sign on top of there. Watch this little sign. You see that little sign? That is the building where Public Works will be housed. All right, the offices and whatever will be in this building right here. Watch this little sign. This little sign. Let me just zoom on it so you can take a good look as to what is there. See what is there? General Office, Public Works Department. Now, folks, that sign is about 1 foot by 18 inches. Yeah, it is about 18-20 inches across by about 1 foot high, with a little red piece of wire tying up a sign which is supposed to tell the public that that is where Public Works is now located, folks. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, folks? It is tied basically to a bracket of the guttering. The guttering is not there. The guttering is not in place. So even that building needs repair. And these people, or whoever it is, choose to put up a little 1 foot sign telling the public, General Office, Public Works Department. And folks, if that is not maladministration of a country, I don't know what will. Imagine, folks, you are taking out a corporation, an organization, an arm of your country, Dominica, from one area to another. And you'd want to think that the government or the persons that have the responsibility to relocate these people, these hardworking men of Dominica, would at least prepare that place properly. That is the little security booth that is there, I guess, when things get cranked up. But I'm heading back out. I'm heading back out just to reiterate a point, and then we bring that little chit chat to a wrap. Okay. All right, that is your branch, your Canefield branch here of the National Commercial Bank. That is the Quapo Bank as we know it. That is the Canefield branch, right? Good. So let me just wrap up that little piece with you this afternoon, folks. Let me just get a little more lighting on my face so we can have a little discuss about 10 minutes and a wrap. You saw inside there, folks, a sign of the Public Works, the new location of where the Public Works Corporation is going to be housed. I went inside there. There's absolutely no sign on the main road telling people that this is the way or that is the way to Public Works Corporation or where the offices will be housed. Absolutely no sign by the road. No signage at all by the road. And when you get in on the premises, you see a little sign. If somebody is partially blind, they will not notice what is written on that sign. We can do much better than that, folks. I'm being told a number of persons already went into Napa, because Napa is just adjacent by. They went into Napa's business, asking the folks at Napa, where is Public Works located, folks? And if that doesn't tell you and I something, I don't know what will. So imagine the Public Works Corporation. The workers were hurried out from their location on Goodwill Road and brought to Canefield. and not even proper signage is in place to alert people that, hey, that is where your new public works corporation will be located. And if that doesn't say something, folks, to you, I don't know what will, but it says a lot to me. The persons who are the wheel, they either are asleep or they care very, very little about the workers of that department. Now, the minimum wage in Dominica, folks, it is still $4.05. These workers at Public Works, I am being told, the layman inside there, meaning those who do the tedious work, the hard work, they get $6 and change 25 cents an hour. Roughly $6.25 an hour. Now I want to juxtapose that, because it would be remiss of me if I don't juxtapose that against a $64,300 rent per month for Roosevelt Skerrit. These people at Public Works, the ordinary man and woman at Public Works, they don't have a clue when their salary or their combined salary it's going to reach $64,300. They don't have a clue. But one man is asking the same folks at Public Works, drawing a meager $6 an hour, to help pay him to what many folks are believing to live in his house. And I just want us to ponder on that. So those of you at the Public Works Department, I know some of you choose not to speak. I know some of you cannot speak. I know some of you will not speak. But that should not be the way that a Public Works corporation is supposed to be running. Should not be at all. And I just pause so that you guys can internalize that, digest it, and see if there is any justice that is being done to these hard-working men and women of Dominica, especially in the Public Works sector in Dominica. And yes, Mr. Vincent Warrington, since 2011, these people have not gotten a raise from government to add to their already meager salary. But that is another matter to be discussed sometime in the future, as to effective leadership in that area for these hard working people of Dominica, folks. Let me just see my time, because I want to keep in time. Yeah, I said 45 minutes and it is 6:40 now, so I have another 5 minutes with us just to polish up that discussion this afternoon, folks. And so yes, that is our plight, that is our situation in Dominica. It is a dismantling of all institutions that's supposed to be working for and on behalf of we the citizenry. There's that systematic dismantling of these institutions. So you see this Public Works Corporation? Public Works is not Public Works again, folks. It is not. When I was a young boy growing up in Dominica, I used to see these guys all around the country, fixing roads, patching roads, cleaning our gutters, doing the necessaries so that we would be living in a safer place called Whitey Kubuli. But gone are those days. And what what really rubs in the injury now is that foreign companies, let me retract that, what disguise themselves as foreign companies take the place of our beloved public works and doing the jobs that our guys in Dominica could be doing and have done for a number of years. I showed you sometime last week, Thursday, Friday, a big red truck, Dominica strong on it, doing cleanup, just clean up around some of those resilient, quote-unquote resilient houses in Cochrane. Public works should be doing that, folks. But no, foreigners. So we have a lot of different foreign companies, or what is alleged to be foreign companies, doing the work that our people here should be doing. And Dominicans, the onus is on us as a people to correct that problem. I know sometimes the situation looks dim, it looks grim, sometimes it is even a situation of doom and gloom. But once we have life, Dominicans, there is hope. There is hope. And let us move forward as a country on the wings of our ancestors. The Balas, the Jackos, the Congaries, the Facel, the fighting men and women of Dominica. We once called them Maroons and the Kalinagos. That is where our strength, our physical strength lie, is in these men and women who fought for Dominica. And we are enjoying their hard work today. Let us not have their hard work go in vain by we just accepting that level of trash what passes for government. So let us rise to the occasion, my people, and do what we have to do to rescue our country. We can do much better, folks. I know that, and I still believe in my people that we can do much better. After 20 years of a dictatorship on our back, then I know some of us have already succumbed to the pressure. But there is still hope. There is much hope, folks. Let us rise to the occasion, folks. So all of you on the live this afternoon, my time has come. My little chit chat with you all every Saturday afternoon from 6. Next week we'll be focusing on something of national importance again. So please feel free to tune in next week, Saturday from 6 p.m. But folks, I just want to reiterate that point before I leave. Our Public Works Corporation has been dismantled. The workers there basically are on their knees. Since 2011, they have not gotten an increase. And I remember about 2016 thereabout, they had a protest at the front of the building, and about half of them were sent home. So right about now, the corporation is operating at skeleton staff and still producing the goods when they are asked to in terms of development of our country, Dominica. So my people, I just want to tell us, keep hope alive. Once there's life, there's hope. And let us keep trusting that one day things will get better. But things will not get better, folks, if we as a people don't come together and rescue our country, Dominica. Thank you very so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just run through the names, at least some of the names, persons viewing there, just to ail you up, and then I will be making my party notes. Francis Anslem, I see you. Ursula Lauren Simon, thank you very much. Gwyneth Latouche, Larrock, Martin Carrill, good evening to you. Vincent Warrington, Solid Soldier, good evening to you, my brother. Arlene Hill, good afternoon. Ian St. Murray, good afternoon as well. Teresa Susanna Roll, you're out too long, my friend. You need to come back home. But thank you very much, Susanna. Marcella Mitchell, I see you there. Good afternoon to you. Well, my dear friend Carol Olivachi Bruni, good evening to you as well. Called Vincent Warrington already. John Jules Roy Valda, you're watching. Good evening to you. Ashley Foxworthy. I love that name. Thank you very much, my bro. Rebecca, my friend, good afternoon to you. Rebecca Theodore, always doing good works out there, my friend. Keep doing that. Heather Thrank, you are there. Good evening. Donnie Defoe, Gilda Miller, that's my old schoolmate. Gilda, love to see you each and every time. Take care of yourself, my friend out there. Gina Castle, that is my good old buddy from Portsmouth. Good evening to you, Gina. We need much more women like you in Dominica, my friend. Thank you for that fighting spirit. Something Frank, Thai Frank, good afternoon to you as well. I mentioned Gina already. Agafala Rock, good evening as well. Alia Simon, Jess Viville, good evening. Marshall Lawrence saying Public Works Department was most formidable and organized in previous years among the OECS. That's a very true statement, Mr. Lawrence. Who else is there? Faith Torrance, good evening as well. Mr. Euron Vidal, I see you there. Always love that fighting spirit of yours, brother. We need to do what we have to do to rescue our land. My dear friend, Daria Francis, good evening to you as well. Joan Bernard James, good evening to you, my friend. Keep faith alive. I know things can be rough, but things will get better, my friend. Claudia, Sentile, you're watching as well. Mayan Tavernier, and the list goes on and on and on, folks. I cannot call everybody name. So Bernard Allen, my brother. Bernard says the PM commented a few years ago about those rocks. Lofty, yes, I can remember that. In response to a Facebook conversation, he said that he was going to hold an emergency cabinet meeting to sort out this problem, and Bernard continues. But Bernard, we know how Scarrett operates. From since Scarrett would leave his mouth, it basically means very, very little to us in Dominica. But keep hope alive. My brother, Marvin Sheldon Boland, good evening to you. Paula Paul, Ramas Carter, good afternoon to you, my friend. Keep those photos going as well. Mary Jo, always on board. Annette Turney, Ahmed Fountain, good evening to you. Solid patriotic brother as well. Yvette John, you're on with us. Good evening to you as well. And the list goes on and on and on. So I took a little time off to just say hi and hello to those of us who are here. Kendra, Alexi. Oh Lord, Kendra, I know if I didn't call your name tonight, I may have been in for some falling rocks. But praise God, I saw your name and I call your name. Kendra, a very patriotic sister as well. Dorita Ferrara, good evening to you, my friend. Chiquito Thomas. That Chiquito Thomas rings a bell. Good evening to you as well. Manuel and Pierre, Richard, Santimi, Angela Paul. Folks, there are some more names, there are some more persons following, but I can't go for everything tonight. I choose to keep our presentations every Friday to the point, concise, about 45 minutes. Because it is said in, how you call it in science, after 40-45 minutes, the adult brain tend to go a little whap, you know. So I don't want your brain to go whap. So I just need it to be concise, to the point, succinct, and so you get the point. But please share the information with your friends, your loved ones, and yes, even those who oppose what I'm saying, share it to them. Because the good book says, iron sharpeneth iron. That is how we can redeem or start to redeem our land, is by trying to have that engagement, that one-on-one with our fellow men, so that we can have a much better Dominica. All right, night has fallen. I can see, you can see my background is already dark. So thank you very much. See you next week, same time, same place. I'm signing out now. Bye-bye. I love you.